My incredibly powerful scorpions. I've already shuffled the cards and laid them out to save some time. I'm using a Celtic 10 card spread to look at past, present, and future influences for the week. And as always, I will be teaching the tarot through each card so you not only receive your forecast, you can start to build your own intuitive relationship with the cards, because that's what this channel is all about, the betterment and benefit of tarot. And your betterment and your benefit this week, Scorpio, is I can see the antsy-pantsy and the acknowledgement and the confidence that's starting to emerge in you and wanting to take off in new directions. I've got that validation in that first card placement, the significator, which is the general gist of the overall reading. It's a major arcana card, so a real life lesson that's been learned here, the mastery of thought, not being pulled in different directions. It's the balance of intuition along with logic, intellect with spirit, right? Being able to handle a whole lot of stuff to be able to move ourselves forward in the acknowledgement of our own sign of self-confidence, which stems from our self-love, right? And our self-esteem that gets kind of a movement forward. But the thing I want you to realize right now, Scorpio, is you while that have that antsy-pantsy and you know you've got that little strut in your stride, but it's a time for rest and reflection still, okay? You're too tired from all the stuff that you've been through over the last couple of years. You know you're moving out of it, and that's probably why you want to kind of get going on that new direction. But the mastery of thought right now is, how do you get you back in balance? How do you get you back to healing? And getting a kind of a viewpoint of this new life that's unfolding from you, because it's been kind of like a whirlwind to get you here, and all in good stuff and all good, again, benefit and betterment. But it's kind of like, whoa, like what just happened? I need to kind of decipher this stuff. And that's what this starts with this week, okay? And I really want you to grab onto it. I don't want you to feel like you've got to accomplish everything yesterday and have that antsy-pantsy feeling. It's not necessary, because that would be the non-exalted state of the chariot. We're kind of losing the reins of our thoughts and our actions and situations. We can feel like obligations and responsibilities are burdensome and worrisome. And that's not the exalted state. So let's go for the exalted state, which is a reflection of you. And I think it's just wanting that confidence and that power is starting to really start to emerge in you, and you're really digging it and you want to stride forward. And it's definitely going to happen. But let's get the rest of everything else, the spirit, the pocketbook, the mental, everything in conjunction here, so we can get that relaxation, that healthy outlook. And now we'll know what to do, because you don't know completely what you want to do next. And that's cool too. So don't be frightened about that. All right, because you got a big wish. And the reason why I say that is the second card placement, which in the 10 card spread is a crossing card placement. So what's blocking the chariot from fully emerging, allowing you to believe in yourself and move forward and acknowledge the past accomplishments, that you have something to build upon, and that you've taken like kind of spiritual warfare and emerged with a new you. So you really have big kudos here, and I need you to give those kudos to yourself, okay? Because the Seven of Pentacles, the contemplation, meditation of new moves in the area of the material, right? And a lot of people just stick it with work and health and community. But I, after so long of doing tarot, I throw everything in there. And that's everything in the material world: family, home, relationship, as well as work, career, and all those other kinds of dynamics of the domain of the earth signs of pentacles, right? But the thing about the seven, it's a seeker, right? I'm looking out for new information, new opportunities, new potential. I want to go somewhere. And this kind of combo would tell me that you don't have clarity on that yet. And that's okay. Don't feel like you have to rush. That's why when we're overthinking or trying to even overachieve, or just, we get overwhelmed, anxiety gets running, insecurities, fears and doubts start to manifest, and a sense of overwhelming tiredness. And that's kind of where I think you are right now, even though that turn of the wheel is going in such a favorable direction. But I just think the long journey has finally caught up with you. And then again, that antsy-pantsy of wanting to move in a new direction, it's just at a crossroads. So I just need you to, again, that's what the seven is. It's a crossroads state. Because if you're really happy in any of those areas, that's what's been changing. So don't hold on to any of those things that aren't for your betterment. And keep your eye out, because God's got something, but it's only going to happen in the stillness and the peace of you. It's not going to happen in that kind of anxiety and chaos that we've built up after this long journey. You know what I mean? It's been a lot for you guys. And I'm going to validate that tiredness too in the third card placement, the 10 of Wands. The third card placement, I like to say, it's the top of the matter in the 10 card spread, but I like to say it's God's direction for the week. And the 10 of Wands, we're wrapping up a cycle in the area of the suit of the Wands, our creative energy, imagination, inspiration, manifestation takes off and becomes a material reality. And we're taking that journey, right? Again, anything in the material world, Scorpio, is coming to a cycled end. And you know it. And it's starting to change in the direction for your favor, which is really wonderful. And I think that's why you just feel like you want to move forward as quickly as possible and leave the past behind. But there's a regrouping in you that needs to happen so you can get that refresh. And the 10 of Wands is a reflection of that. And I'll also say this, just because the 7 is at a crossing and where you're maybe not allowing that next step to happen, the 10 of Wands in my deck is if we, or just about a lot of decks, I think, is if we stay too long in that sense of one accomplishment, right? That one cycle of life that's happening, again, family, relationships, all those things, and it no longer benefits us, we get crushed by the wands. So we can't let that happen, okay, Scorpio? So there's a shift happening, and it's all based on what you want, your new identity that you fought so hard for, and the way that you want to be. There's a reward for that, and it's coming, but I need you to regroup, and I don't need you steering the wheel, okay? This is kind of one of those scenarios where let go, let God. I just need you to stand away and just get to the sidelines, have a cup of tea, whatever it is that makes you relax, and just chill out so that you could see the opportunity, because it's all going to be based on your wish, because I really need to untangle you in a few ways, okay? And while I'm just here, while I'm at the third card matter, I'm going to just flip around a little bit here, Scorpio. In the 10th card, outcome card, is the King of Pentacles. In an exalted state would be abundance and money and gifts of acknowledgement and prestige and all those kinds of things in the royal suit of the ending of the minor arcana as well, after we end that journey there in the area of the Pentacles. But when he appears for me, 100%, he's always about reminding us not to be a cheapskate of the pocketbook, even though there's probably an aspect of the pinching of the pocketbook, and not to be a cheapskate with emotional and feeling, which has been a kind of vibe for Scorpio to learn that lesson. How do you kind of make your own identity and still protect your emotions and feelings and your pride and your respect and all those other kinds of things, while still being able to be a loving entity, you know what I mean? Because that's the highest domain of Scorpio, where you've been residing, but you've been getting a lot of plucked nerves over the last couple of months especially. But that's starting to shift, so don't shut down yourself. That would be a reflection, especially sitting next to the 10. That to me is like a double message from God. Don't buy into it. Get that mindset of the Chariot, because whatever starts in our thoughts, people, goes to our actions, our attitude, our approach, our words, everything, including the words that we speak to ourselves. So make sure it's only loving and supportive. And again, that emotional flow first starts with you. So flow some of that loving energy back at yourself, okay? Talk to yourself positively and know that there's new potential here, and you have something to build upon it as well. So let's not buy into the cheapskate of the King of Pentacles, because the only one that can control that narrative in your dialogue of your head is you. So we need to make sure that's not happening, and especially sometimes if we live in a sense of poverty, we're starting to manifest it. And remember, Scorpio, you guys got superpowers as a water sign. So, if you start to think that way, it's going to ripple out everywhere. And so change that conversation to the exalted state of the King of Abundance, because that's been happening anyway. And I'll just say where a fact is that, is how much has been changing over the last 6 to 8 months in a betterment way, even though there's been a lot of stuff to still deal with. You could see those nuggets of light and hope and faith and loving and goodness, and that you're the one that built that pathway there. So keep on believing in that, and there's a reward for that, especially when you're trying to bring others along with you and being that loving vibe. You just have so much to be proud of yourself, Scorpio. And I'm going to acknowledge it here. In the 4th card position is the gut feeling, I like to say. It's the base of the matter. In the 10-card spread, the 3 of Pentacles, a celebratory state in numerology and tarot, 3, 6, 9. So it's a beginning state, right? Before we kind of really reach a critical mass. It's like a platform state, like this guy's standing on. People giving him the gold coin. So that you have stuff that can be built upon, that has acknowledgement, achievement sense to it. And again, this can happen anywhere from family. It's not just about the gold coin, but this is a reflection of that. You have that ability as well. So don't undermine yourself with the thinking of the King. Keep it in the 3 of Pentacles, because that's you guys, babies, right now. And you know it in your gut. And I think that part of the reason, again, here we see another reflection of a wrapping up, right? In the 5th card placement, which leaving your life is the past reflection of the 5th card placement, is 9 of Pentacles. So we have another wrapping up in the minor arcana, and this time in the area of the material again. And see, he's stoic. He's been through a lot, the ups and downs of the journey of the Pentacles, right? Any minor arcana suit is going to be ups and downs, right? You get the joys and the downfalls of all those kind of life lessons of everyday stuff. That's the minor arcana. And that's the nine saying, here's another achievement state, that here's all your pentacles. All is fine. Again, you might be tempered, a little tired, and you need to decipher, but this kind of energy is leaving you. But you need to really kind of bring that confidence that's available in Nine of Pentacles, in all the nines really, except for the Nine of Swords, which is a nightmare card because we're making that nightmare ourselves, and thankfully that's not here. But the nine here is a celebratory state for you. Again, 369, right? It's you reaching that end cycle. So acknowledgement there is really important. And I think you've been doing that. And I just want to give you the time and space right now, this week especially, or really the whole month of August, I'll say, Scorpio, just to do you. Whatever makes you happy, whatever gets you mellowed out and balanced and chakra balance and detox, all that kind of stuff that you need to do for yourself, for you first, right? Because everything else will follow. And I'm just going to validate that as well. What's happening right now in the present state, in that 6-card position, we have another 9 of Wands. So the completion state in the area of the creative. So what's so nice, and that's so nice, especially sitting next to the 10, it's like God's signal, like you're in the 9, let's knock out of the 10, right? Let's not linger here in accomplishment, even a sense of, because Scorpio rules revenge, like don't linger in any of those areas, okay? That's not your territory, it's God's territory with karma and so on. So like don't, even our sense of accomplishment, because that's kind of the reflection of the 10 of Wands, we're reluctant to move on in new directions, and we can't let that happen, right? Because that's what happens here in the 9 of Wands. We're moving in that new direction. In my deck, you see that sailboat. He's all the flames, or all the wands are aflame. Maybe your sails are a little torn and tattered. You've been on rough seas, but you're ready to get on safe shore. That's a representation here, right? We're getting our footing again after rough times, right? And rough landscapes and rough seas. In tarot represent that kind of learning life lessons. We're trying to find our balance, and especially with water here, it's that emotional balance, that flow of love that has been at the core of everything that Scorpio has been going through. So you have really learned these lessons. There's a big karmic reward, which I'm going to get to in a second too. Now that I see it there, I touched on it earlier and I'm just reminded of it again. So we're really going to get into some good stuff here. Stay on the ship, get to the shores, and when a Scorpio gets those eagle little talons on the sand and starts to fly again, watch out, magic happens, right? And also say this, right? Because it's sitting on top of the bonus card, the 8 of Wands, the refresh, rejuvenation that happens before we know we get into that safe harbor. We're starting to get that rush of energy in a new direction for the creative under the domain of the Wands, right? We're swimming with the dolphins. All is good. We've learned some stuff. It's a happy point, but God is pushing you forward to the ending cycle, right? You've accomplished some stuff. You've been some journeys and adventures that have been, like I said, ups and downs. But you really did it, Scorpio. It's so great. So, and now which is really nice here too is another great moment. So I got the Chariot in the first card, the significator, the general gist. So you got this, Scorpio. You've got that mind control. That's your domain as well. The flowing of emotions along with intellect. You're not going to be pulled in either direction. And even in older decks, we don't have reins at all. Like that's how much mastery of thought I have in my head. I can control everything. I'm not going to be pulled away, even like with ego and pride in one way or anger and rage in another, So all good here. And here, this is where we get to trust ourselves. The 7-card position is the way that we're feeling about ourselves. The 4 of Swords is a firm foundation in the area of the intellect, intelligence, communication, strategy, analytical thinking. But to the ancient tarot, it was about ourselves. And this follows a 4, follows a 3 of Swords. You might have seen that in other decks with the heart, or you're not seeing a card here, sorry. With the heart with the 3 swords pierced through it. That, to the ancient tarot, was killing off the patriarch, the authority, community, society, our family. There are typical and stereotypical ways that we have to be in those kinds of situations. And we're emerging with our own identity under that friction, under that conflict of justification and engagement, and trying to recognize our own point of view and how we want to live and work and love, just being our overall people, our character, our integrity. That's the journey of the swords. So good job here, Scorpio. So you've done a really good job, because that's the 4. It's the firm foundation to build upon. So, that's what the contemplation is right now. That's what this is a wish card, and the hopes and fears. it's what do you want next? You get to design this new building that you've got the foundation for, right? And it's all in your capable hands. You don't have to worry about what anybody else thinks, just what you think, okay? So design it to the way that you would want to do. And that's a reflection of the 4. Take your time to do so, because it's, again, like I said, there's some healing and refreshing that needs to do that gives you that kind of clear blueprint for the next direction, all right, or what you want to build. So no rush here as well. You've got all the tool sets, all right. And 8th is how other people view you. Is the Knight of Swords. It could be like thoughts and thoughts. It could be younger people as well. The royal suits have an identity with people in the tarot. But I find it's usually our own thoughts, because swords are our thoughts, and it's a lot of like, hey, let's go somewhere. So people might be feeling like that Chariot too. It's another reflection of that, like, let's go in a new direction. Let's go. And you're ready to go in a new direction. So anywhere that you need to, again, use strategy, analytical thinking, or intellect along with communication, especially in the area of the swords with that kind of, with the King of Pentacles. Let's say you've gone through situations of divorce or breakup, and you're still relying on other people to pull their end of the bargain kind of thing. Don't be afraid. Get non-scattered. Get based, right? Get that 4 of Swords, get everything in order, prioritize, and then just start to really decide what you want to do, because you've got a big wish coming. So whatever that is, it's going to combat the King of Pentacles. But I need you to be organized in that mindset, and then it's going to affect the heart and the spirit. And that's where that rejuvenation is going to start to come up, right? Because it's been a lot of intense emotional energy and upheaval in a lot of different ways, which causes chaos even in our own mind. And the Knight of Swords is the kind of, especially from other people's viewpoint, in that 8th card position, that's what that represents. I don't want you to look scattery, unorganized, or even running away from a situation. That would be a reflection of that as well. So wherever that resonates with you in the non-exalted state, Scorpio, just get that adjusted as well too. And most importantly, rely on your intellect, okay? Because it's really sharp, and because you got 2 swords there. You got away a lot of BS, and you can get to the truth. And you could also deliver a hard truth with a soft tongue. That's a reflection of the swords. And that's kind of the reflection of the journey that Scorpio's been going through as well. So it's a good job here also. Good job, Scorpio. So, and no wonder we're seeing the 9 of Cups here in the hopes and fears. It's, again, another completion state in the 9 of the minor arcana in our area of the hearts, which, the Cups rather, which is our heart, emotional flow, intuitive nature. It's like the water signs, it's just like their subconscious connecting with God. And in tarot, it's the wish card. And you don't get to the wish card unless you've been a really good heart and really good intentions and a really good egg under very, very tough and difficult circumstances. So that's why it's here. Don't be afraid of it, my friend. And it's no coincidence it's sitting next to the King of Pentacles, the cheapskate, and the 10 of Wands, where I'm just too tired to move. Okay, so ask God for that refresh. First and foremost, it's not just one wish, honey bunnies. It's a few of them. So get the prioritize, get that centered for you. And don't be afraid of the wish, because it's your good karmic reward. And you know this as well, Scorpio. I know you do. And they're refreshing that bonus. Like I said, the 8 of Wands, that refresh, rejuvenation, the restart in the area of the creative. It's been so long, and it's so welcome now. And that's what's stirring. First, it's going to be the heart and the brain and the spirit coming together for you to kind of heal. And again, get that rejuvenation for yourself so that restart can happen. And you so deserve it, Scorpio. You really, guys, really do. Okay, so have a good weekend. Thanks to all those who watch and subscribe and everything. And if you haven't subscribed, if you would consider subscribing, that would be awesome. We're growing the channel, and I just can't say thank you, everybody. Thank you, Scorpio.